MMA Now, powered by Film On TV Network.
I'm David Cannon with MMA Now TV, and right now we're not joined with the MMA superstar. We're joined with the NFL pro player from the LA Rams, Rodger Saffold. How you doing?
Doing good, doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Could you make heavyweight in the UFC at 265?
Man, I have no idea, man. I mean, guys are so vicious in there, and they really look big on TV. You know, I'm a pretty big guy myself, but
How much
I don't
you weigh
know.
right now?
I'm 6'5", 315.
Wow, that'd be a tough cut to get to 265.
Yeah, that would be rough. That would be rough.
Can you imagine yourself in there with like a Cain Velasquez and the big boys, or like Stipe Miocic? You're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
The first ever heavyweight champion from Cleveland as far as MMA goes is Stipe. You've been an MMA fan for a while. What drew you to the sport?
Well, basically, I just like, the violence of it. I mean, in my sport and football, there's a lot of violence as well. So, like, being able to go ahead and see it, firsthand and see these guys, working. I mean, it may look like these are just little hits, but they sound like explosions when you're at the fight. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it, so awesome. And, basically these guys are both professionals. So, you hope that nobody gets injured or anything, but just, hey, that's just part of the deal. It's like you got to have the will to fight. And I think that that's what we have to have. We have to have a little bit of dog in us in order, to play a great game. Now, being in the ring, if I'm not beating you within the first minute, I'm too tired. I'm going to be gassed. Because I just don't have the training of just flipping people and throwing bodies. And, I know everybody thinks that, hey, they're not doing anything on the fence. That takes a lot of work to try to, like, muscle somebody into position, especially when you're doing the 5-minute rounds. Oh, my God. By round 5 in these championship matches, these guys are completely gassed. And I'd be like, all right, I had fun. I'll see you guys.
So you would verbally tap.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, I'm good, man. Thanks for the workout.
Now, what's the worst fight you've seen? You've probably been in training camp. What's the worst fight you've seen? And tell us a story about a fight you've been in training camp or during the game.
The worst fight that I've seen has been in training camp has been when we had our fight against Dallas. We came to just, practice, try to be good sports and go through everything in practice. And then things got a little bit out of hand. People got chippy here, people got chippy there. And then it turned into a Braveheart scene. I mean, there are people running from other sides of the field. People are getting tackled and punched and thrown and jumped and all this stuff. I mean, that was absolutely ridiculous. That was crazy. That was crazy for me.
And you were in it.
No, actually I wasn't in it because I didn't practice that day, so I didn't have a helmet on. I'm not dumb either. Guys got a helmet on. You punch him, he got a helmet, and then you get punched in the nose, right, in the face. You get tackled. I mean, especially when you don't have a helmet on, you're gonna get swarmed. Like, you're gonna get swarmed and stomped out. So
they're gonna go after you. You're like, oh, he doesn't have a helmet on.
He doesn't have a helmet on. I gotta come after him. Now, it may take 4 or 5 guys. Like, I'm not gonna go out here and say I'm some punk, but yeah, I can't lie and say I was in that one. But
so you were on the sidelines for that. You saw.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember watching.
I think I saw it on ESPN. It made national news.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it seems that that's happening more and more when these teams try to practice with one another. Turns into a big MMA brawl. People getting kicked and punched. And all
I think there's 2 teams. I don't know if it's the Packers or someone else, or they said they're not going to practice together because it doesn't go well when these 2 teams practice.
Yeah. I'm not sure what teams. I know that there was a big brawl though between Houston and the Redskins.
Right.
That was a big one too, and that one also hit ESPN. So I mean, I think it's like I said, it's just you treat these guys like your brothers. You guys work out together. You do everything together. You're trying to get good work in. The coaches have a good idea. Hey, why don't we just scrimmage against each other? And it's good work. Of course it is. But then next thing you know, tempers fly. It starts getting hot. Somebody may have chipped somebody here or knocked somebody down they weren't supposed to, and then it's like, all right, it's on.
So what's the worst fight you've been in personally?
Shoot. I think it was back in my rookie year in training camp. That one was pretty bad. We had our running back was Steven Jackson at the time. And if you mess with Jack, we had to come after you. And it was just a huge brawl. Once we saw Jack in the middle of the fight, it was just like, all right, everybody go in, and then everybody's getting pulled off each
What
other
team
and
was
people
it
trying to
against?
slam.
Do you remember?
No, it was actually against ourselves.
Okay.
This was against ourselves. This was literally in training camp my first year. I remember seeing that, and I'm just like, I see all my linemen going there, and they're going at it. So I'm like, okay, I have to go in. And then I went in there, and then we're just scrapping, and everybody's getting slammed and throwing people left and right. The good thing is we were able to get it under control, and everybody hugged it out after.
Well, let's talk a little UFC 200. You were out there and had to come in and out, but you actually talked with Miesha Tate after the fight the following day. What was that conversation like?
She is a great competitor. Miesha Tate is a great competitor. And, just for her to, still, come out there and, show her face and be able to just hang out like a normal person after, such a fight, like that was huge for me, So I'm definitely, a Miesha Tate fan. And, she's just, you could just tell that she was down, but she was not out by any means. She's already talking about, getting back up there and training and doing all those. So I just have tons and tons of respect for her. And, for me, it was just cool to be able to sit down and talk with somebody who, has to do kind of the same things that I have to do. You have to have that mental stability. You got to be able to have that warrior mentality. And, you got to keep fighting. I mean,
Was there anything she relayed to you about Amanda Nunes at all?
I heard that it was just like that one hit was just serious. Like that was a big one. That was a big blow. And I know that she was continuing to fight. She told me she was going to continue to battle, and just didn't come out on top. And that happens. I understand that happens. There's been huge hits where I'm just like, how is this person still up? But once again, it's that warrior mentality. Like, unless I'm unconscious, I'm not stopping.
Well, let's talk more about 200. John Jones was originally slated to be on that card, was out. Brock Lesnar is out, tested positive. We're not sure what the substance was, anti-doping. And Chad Mendes is suspended 2 years for anti-doping violation. What does that tell you about these guys? John Jones was considered one of the pound-for-pound greatest fighters of all time for MMA.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about the steroids and I mean it was the anti-estrogen blocker which masks potential steroid, but from you, another professional athlete, what are the thoughts that come to your head?
I think that what it comes down to is just these guys wanting to win. As a competitor and as somebody who kind of watches these guys and knows that they're in there by themselves. They don't have anybody to lean on. They have to lean on themselves in order to, be able to fight. And one thing that I noticed is that all the guys that get caught with this stuff are the guys that are put under the most pressure from fans, from outside. So it's like winning is the only option. And people make mistakes. I mean, that's just what people do. Yes, you could say that it was dumb that they made these mistakes and got hit with this doping, but my thing and my like response and my message is just, hey man, continue to just bet on yourself. You don't need anything. You're a world-class athlete. They can help you. Those things help you a little bit, but they're not able to have the same drive, to be able to have the same mentality that you have to go out every day and do. So you just don't need it. You just don't need it. Hard work always just outbeat those things. And, getting caught in it, what ends up happening? You can lose everything. So what's the point?
Well, let me ask you, is there a difference between someone taking steroids playing in the NFL or a different sport where these guys are not trying to knock each other out or hurt them per se, but in MMA, these guys are trying to finish each other? Is there a difference in taking steroids from MMA and other sports or NFL?
Well, taking a steroid is just mostly for the edge. I mean, you see guys that are like dominant who probably have taken steroids, but it's so small and minuscule. Like, you think about guys with strength, like all of these guys are strong. All these guys are big, but everybody just wants the edge. When it comes to MMA, you're just looking to, to get that knockout, to be a star. I mean, that's huge. I mean, to be a fighter and to be able to knock another man out probably is the best feeling in the world. I know for me, being able to block somebody and being able to take them to the ground, it just feels like you overpower them. and I get that feeling. But I can't put my team through the same thing like that. I can't put my team through that. I don't want to put my family through that, And I think mostly about me is just all about pride, just constantly just saying, hey, I got to do this the natural way. And if I get beat, the only thing for me to do is just work harder.
And then in MMA, you can kind of, some of the officials say there's a look that they look for of someone that might be on it now that they're cleaning it up. When you play against someone else, can you kind of feel and gauge if they're on something, or is that something in football you would have no idea?
You kind of don't know, with the pads and how it is. I mean, you could just see somebody with just like a ridiculous amount of power that you're just like wondering, how is this even possible? But there's no way to truly tell, because like you see all these, you see even wide receivers have, be great toned. You see defensive linemen, great tone. Offensive linemen are starting to get more of that just, big strength, bulkier type of like body types. And then you look at the linebackers, like everybody is in great shape, So it's like, how can you tell? And you're definitely not thinking about it when you're playing. Like when we're out there on the field, all we're thinking of, all right, what do I need to do to get this guy out the way so I can let my boy run?
Now let's talk about someone either on your team or someone you've played with. Who's one guy you think if he didn't play in the NFL, he could possibly be a UFC champion?
Ooh, wow, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Freddie Roach said this. He's a boxing trainer of Manny Pacquiao and Cotto. He said that basketball players actually have better footwork for boxing as far as fighting, because it's easier to teach them how to throw a punch per se than anything else. But NFL or in football, there's actually a pro, or he played at Michigan State, boxer. He did all right for a while. But who do you think that would be able to do jiu-jitsu and grappling and wrestling and striking and be able to hold their own, regardless of the weight?
You have to think about just the most like athletic guy. Like, who is the most athletic guy? Because, if you look at wide receivers, they're going to have great feet. So there comes that ability, being able to teach how to punch, how to strike. But then you look at like the trenches, and those are probably the best guys for like, grappling and tackling.
You had Herschel Walker actually had some pro fights in Strike Force.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I actually had a conversation with him in St. Louis. That was awesome, and he's huge. Man's huge. he can strike for real. Like,
he has some legit wins. They didn't put him against the cream of the crop, but against other pros, and he won a good amount of fights. But right now, who's would you say in their prime? You're like, okay, I think if he would have trained MMA as opposed to NFL, he could contend.
I mean, that really is a tough one, because I'm thinking of all these guys. You look at Von Miller, great speed, great feet, good with his hands. Like, if he was training, he'd probably be fantastic. Plus, he's not a short guy; he's a taller guy, so he's gonna have that reach advantage as well. So
you're saying Von Miller would be that one guy out of the 32 teams that you're like, okay, I think he could have made it.
If he was training day in and day out for that, I think that he could do it. I think that he could do it. But then there's also like defensive linemen. Like if you look at our defensive tackle, Aaron Donald, if he gets you on the ground, I guarantee it's over for you. Guaranteed. Yeah, guaranteed. I guarantee it.
Now,
you want to bet money? We could go right now. We could go pick him up. Guaranteed.
But the thing with him is he's not trained for that. As far as like against another heavyweight, these guys are trained specifically.
But he probably have the easier time dropping to that 265
and understanding
like me, like a guy at 315, and then he's got like the natural leverage and he's got great strength. So I feel like if he was able to get somebody on the ground, just that ground and pound alone is just going to be over.
Now, before we get you out of here, let's make two predictions. UFC 201 is right around the corner. Robbie Lawler versus Tyron Woodley, who's out of Missouri, from Missouri originally.
Tyron Woodley.
Represents
Woodley all day. Woodley all day. I represent Woodley all day. The first time I even went to a fight was to watch Woodley. I went to Vegas, went to the MGM Grand, saw him fight. He won the fight. Woodley.
Who did he fight in that fight?
I don't even know. It was the guy with the mixed guy. Got blonde. He had blonde hair, like a blonde afro. A little bit.
Blonde hair.
Yeah. Mixed guy, man. And his name
Oh,
was
Josh Koscheck.
Okay,
That's who he fought.
yeah. Literally,
Okay, yeah,
it was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't get
TKO.
it. Yeah.
So you're going with Tyron Woodley to upset Robbie Lawler for the UFC welterweight championship.
Yes, man. The guy has been working his behind off. I know it. I've seen it. I've seen him train. He came to St. Louis and talked to the team. I've seen this guy. You know, I've seen him win. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. So I mean, I'm behind him 100%.
How does that fight end?
I think that one may go to the cards. That one may go to the cards. You know,
Decision for Woodley.
I think it's gonna be a decision because I think that's gonna be a great fight, and I know that Willie don't like to go down.
And it's in Atlanta.
Yeah,
It's in Atlanta. I thought he might have a little. They might have an equal amount of crowds. It depends, for some fighters. So you got Woodley by decision. Another big rematch. A rematch that's coming up. UFC 202. Again at the T-Mobile. Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. McGregor was knocked off for the first time in the UFC. The Irishman. What's going to happen in that fight?
Oh man, I think Conor McGregor is gonna do a number on Diaz, and the only reason why I say that is because he was striking so well in that last fight. I mean, but I think he knows how that rear naked choke is serious. I mean, you got to be able to protect yourself against that. I mean, that is a deadly move. Literally, like you think that, I can hold on, and then you end up passed out. You don't know if you're alive or dead. So, I think that he's going to be ready for that. I think that he's been training for that, but he's still got that confidence, that swagger, and man, his striking is top notch. I mean, that was a bloody fight, and it wasn't really Conor McGregor bleeding.
Do you think in the 6 months or so that's passed out, he'll be able to bridge that gap? He said he gassed out. Mm-hmm. He said he was efficient with his energy, basically saying he got tired. Do you think he's bridged a gap both skill level wise and cardio wise?
I would think so, and I would hope so, because I mean, you look at all of his fights; they're either like first round or I mean, you look at Ronda Rousey, like her average fight was like what, 20-something seconds? So that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So how do you train for something that you don't even know because you haven't even gotten there? So now that he knows, I expect this to be a huge fight, but I think it's going to be knockout McGregor.
Yeah, he's never had a 5-rounder. He went 3 rounds with Holloway. So you have McGregor by knockout and what round?
Yeah. I still like Diaz, so I'm gonna give him the second round.
Second round KO, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Now, before we get out here, why don't you let everyone know you're part owner of a video game team?
Yeah.
so let them know what's the name of your team, how they can find you, and follow your team.
Basically, if you want to follow our team, it's on Twitter. It's at the Rise Nation. On Instagram, same. Be able to check us out. We're always on Twitch. Twitch is a good partner with us, so you can make sure that you go on there and watch live. Make sure you guys watch the Call of Duty World League. Champs is coming up, and just go ahead and check us out. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
They got some gamers from UFC. The flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson's on Twitch. He's a gamer. Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
Make sure you check him out. Rodger Saffold, LA Rams. We wish you the best this season.
Thank you very much.